Good morning, M4. In today's math, our lesson objective is dividing fractions. You're going to like this lesson because it is as easy as our yesterday's activity. So I am going to write the steps here. Please take down notes so that you can check time to time and it will help you find the answers. Okay? Since division is the opposite of multiplication, the process is almost the same. We just need to do one thing. All right? So the step one, I'm going to write here, flip one of the fraction. You might ask, how do we do that, Miss Maria? So I'm going to show you an example problem here, and I'm going to show you how to flip one of the fraction. Example, we have the problem 3/8 divided by 2/4. So as the step one says, flip one of the fraction. Let's say we are going to flip this fraction, the second one. So how to do that? You're just going to swap the numbers. The denominator will be on top and the numerator will go down. That's how you flip it. I'm going to write it here. So this is how it's going to look like now. From 2/4, it's going to be 4/2. That's how you flip one of the fraction. Remember, only one of the fraction. So we are just going to copy this down. Okay, so we just copy down 3/8. All right, so that's the step one. Flip one of the fraction. And now for the step two, we're just going to change the operation to multiplication. What do you mean by operation? What I mean by operation is plus, minus, times, and divide. And in this one, we have division because we're dividing fraction. But since we flip one of the fraction as step one, the step two is we change the operation, the division, to multiplication. So the sign that we're going to use here is multiplication, like this. So now we have 3/8 times 4/2, or 4/2. This is the step two. Now the step three, multiply the numerators. So it's the same like our yesterday's homework. You just multiply the numerators. So 3 times 4 equals 12. Now 8 times 2 equals 16. Now we have the answer 12/16. So for step 3, or rather for step 4, check if you need to simplify the answer. Now we have 12/16. Do we need to simplify 12/16? Yes, we can simplify 12/16. Now think of a number that we can use to divide or simplify 12/16. Now for this fraction, we can use the number 4 to simplify 12/16. So you're going to show like this. 4 times 3, we get 12. And for 16, we can use 4 as well. If we multiply with 4, 4 times 4 equals 16. Now we just cancel out the same number 4 on top and number 4 on the bottom. And we are left with 3/4. Therefore, the simplified answer of 12/16 is 3/4. Of course, if you want to do the division instead of this one, you can do so. If you divide 4 with 12, or rather 12 with 4, 4 divided by 12, you still get 3. 16 divided by 4, you get 4. Okay, so that's how you simplify your answer. Always simplify your answer. So this is it. This is how you divide fraction. Simple as that. I will give you one more example. I will write it over here so that you will see how easy it is. Now this time, let's say we have the problem 2/5 divided by 3/7. Now the first step is to flip one of the fraction. Let's say we're going to flip the second fraction again. So I'm going to write it down here. So 3/7, after I flipped, it's going to be 7/3. And this fraction will just copy it down. Okay, so for step 2, we're going to change the operation to multiplication. So I'm just going to write the times sign here. Now step 3, we're going to multiply numerators. So 2 times 7 equals 14. Then 5 times 3 equals 15. Now we have the answer 14/15. Now step 4, check if you need to simplify the answers. So we have 14, 15. We don't need to simplify it because there's no same number we can use to simplify 14, 15. Therefore, it's our final answer for this problem. Simple as that. Okay, I will show you another example. I will write down here. Example, we have a problem 6/8 divided by 4 halves or 4/2. Step 1, we flip one of the fractions. So let's say we flip the second one. I'll write down here. So it's going to look like this, and I'm just going to copy this fraction. Step 2, we're going to change the operation sign to multiplication. Now step 3, we're going to multiply numerators. 6 times 2 equals 12. 8 times 4 equals 32. Now we have the answer 12/32. Now step 4, check if you need to simplify the answer. We have 12/32, and yes, we have to simplify the answer because we can use a single number to divide them. Okay, let's start small with this one. We can use 2 to divide 12 and 32. Now 12 divided by 32 equals 6. Now 32 divided by 12 equals 16. Now we have the answer 6/16. Now think, is this our final answer, or can we still simplify this? We can still simplify 6/16. We can again multiply it, or rather divide it by 2 because both of them are even numbers. Now 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Now we have the answer 3/8. Now think again, do we still need to simplify this answer? No, this is our final answer. So therefore 6/8 divided by 4/2, the answer is 3/8. Okay? For the simplification, to simplify the answer, please always simplify your answer when you need to. You can always start small like this one. If you see it's an even number or both are even numbers, you can divide it by 2 and then check the answer. If you can still simplify it again, then you divide it again. But of course, from 12/32, you can start dividing it with 4 and you will get the same answer because 12 divided by 4, you'll get 3. 32 divided by 4, you'll still get 8. Okay, always check your answer if you need to simplify it. Again, you can start small, but always check if you still have to simplify it or not. Okay, don't forget that you need to take down notes, these 4 steps here. Remember, this is for division or dividing fractions that are not mixed fraction. Okay, these are just proper and improper fractions. Okay, next one we're gonna learn how to divide mixed fractions. Now this one we are going to learn how to divide mixed fraction. All right, so it's actually the same process with this one, the same, but we only have to remember that the first step when we deal with mixed fraction is to convert mixed fractions to improper fractions. So that's the first step every time when we're dealing with mixed fraction, okay? So I will write an example here. Example, we have the problem 2 3/4 divided by 2 1/5. So like the step 1 said, we just convert both of the mixed fractions to improper fractions. I'm going to write the conversion here. Now I've converted our mixed fraction to improper fractions. Now we have 11/4 divided by 11/5. So this next step for this one is just to flip one of the fraction. Okay, so that's the second step. So I just flipped this fraction. So from 11/5, it's going to be 5/11. Step 2 now. And I'm just going to copy this fraction down here. So I've just copied this fraction down, and so the step 3, change operation to multiplication. So I'll just write times sign here. Now for step 4, we just multiply the numerators. So 11 times 55 equals, 11 times 5 equals 55. So I just write 55 here. So step 5, multiply denominators. So we multiply 4 times 11 equals 44. Now we have the answer 55 over 44. Now step 6, check if you need to simplify the answer. Now, can we still simplify 55 and 44? Is there a number that we can use to divide 55 and 44? Yes, we can still simplify 55 over 44 by using 11. We can divide it with 11. So, 55 divided by 11 equals 5. Now, 44 divided by 11 equals 4. Now we have the answer 5/4. Now this is our simplified form of 55 over 44. So since this is an improper fraction and we are dealing with mixed fraction here, the step 7 is to convert improper fraction to mixed fraction. So we use long division to convert this to improper fraction, or rather to mixed fraction. I'm just going to write over here. Now right over here, I put 5 divided by 4. So how many 4 fits inside 5? There's 1. Now 1 times 4 equals 4. Then we take away. 5 minus 4 equals 1. Now since there's no more number on your dividend, this 1 will be our remainder. Now we have this answer over here. I'm going to convert it to mixed fraction. Now this one on the left side from the decimal point will be our whole number. And this number from the right side of the decimal point will be our numerator. And for our denominator, we are still going to use the same 4 or our divisor out here. So it's still going to be 4. So we have this answer 1 and 1/4. So this is our mixed fraction answer to our problem 2 and 3/4 divided by 2 and 1/5 equals 1 and 1/4. Okay, so that's how simple it is. I'm going to give you one more example over here so that you will understand how easy it is. Let's say we have the problem of 3 and 3/4 divided by 5/6. Now you will say, Miss Maria, there's only one mixed fraction here. It's all right. Even if there's only one mixed fraction over here or on the problem, you will still have to convert this mixed fraction to improper fraction. So I'm going to write the improper fraction equivalent of this mixed fraction. So we have 15 over 4, the equivalent of 3 and 3/4. And I'm just going to copy this fraction since it's not mixed. So after we have converted our mixed fraction to improper fraction, the next step is to flip one of the fraction. So let's say we flip the second fraction again. Once we have flipped our one of the fraction, 5/6, now it's going to be 6/5. Let's just copy this fraction down. Next step is to change the operation to times. So I'm going to write here. Then we multiply the numerators. 15 times 6. It's equals 90. Now, next, we multiply denominators. 4 times 5 equals 20. Now we have the answer 90 over 20. Now, next step is to check if we need to simplify this. Yes, we need to simplify this because we can divide 90 and 20 with number 10. So I'll just write here. So 90 divided by 10 equals 9. And 20 divided by 10 equals 2. Now we have the answer 9 over 2. Do we still have to simplify it? No, we don't have to because this is our simplified form already. Now next step, since we have mixed fraction here, and since it's an improper fraction, we have to convert it to mixed fraction using long division. So right over here, 9 divided by 2. How many 2 can fit inside 9? There are 4. Now 4 times 2 equals 8. Then we take away 9 minus 8 equals 1. So since there's no more number left here, 1 will be our remainder. So we have this answer, and we can convert it to mixed fraction. So 4 will be our whole number, since it's the number on the left from decimal point. Our numerator will be 1, and our denominator is going to be the same, 2. That's it. So this is our answer to the problem 3 3/4 divided by 5/6. The answer is 4 1/2. So that's how you get the answer to mixed fraction. Even if this one is not mixed, as long as you have mixed here, you can still follow the steps. Then the last question with whole numbers. It's the same like what we did with multiplication. If we're dealing with whole numbers, like this one, we have 2 divided by 3/4. What we do for step 1 is we're just going to convert our whole number to fraction. And to do that, we're just going to write 1 as for its denominator. I'm going to write it here. So the whole number 2 will look like 2 over 1 as a fraction. And then we copy this down. So after we convert the whole number to fraction, we write this down. And then the next step is to flip one of the fraction. So I just flip one of the fraction, and I copy this fraction over here. And next step is to change the sign to times or multiplication. Next step is to multiply numerators. 2 times 4 equals 8. 1 times 3 equals 3. Now we have the answer 8 over 3. Can we still simplify it? No, we can't simplify it. So therefore our answer is 8 over 3. For this one, since we're not dealing with mixed fraction here, it's okay. You can stay with the answer 8 over 3. But if you want to convert this to a mixed fraction, of course, you can do so. Again, always remember, if you see or when you see a whole number, just add the denominator 1 to make it a fraction, and then you proceed to the next step. Now I'm going to explain your activity, so listen properly. So for your activity 1, it looks like this. You will be dividing fraction with a whole number. So for this one, for this problem, we have 9 1/2 divided by 4. So what you need to do is to convert this mixed fraction to improper fraction, and you convert the whole number 4 to a fraction by adding 1 as denominator. And after that, you just flip one of the fraction, and after you have flipped one of the fraction, you change the sign to multiplication, and then you continue with the problem. For this activity, you will be dealing all with whole numbers, okay? You just check the sign, the other fraction. If you're dealing with mixed fraction, make sure to convert your answer to mixed fraction as well. For this one, it's not fraction. This one is mixed fraction, mixed fraction. So check your answers properly if you need to simplify your answers before you convert them to mixed fraction. Okay? Always convert always simplify your answers. Okay, so for the activity number 2, it looks like this. So this is your activity 2. You will be dividing fractions 7 over 6 divided by 9 over 2. So first step is you're just going to flip one of the fraction. Second step, you just change the sign to times, and then you multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then check if you need to simplify the answers. That's all. Now you have here mixed fraction as well. For mixed fraction, convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction first, and once you've done that, flip one of the fraction and then change the sign to times, and then multiply numerators, then multiply denominators, then check if you need to simplify the answers. Then convert it to mixed fraction because you are answering or you are dealing with mixed fraction here. Okay, so always simplify your answers and convert it to mixed fraction if needed. Okay, so check the problem properly because it's mixed. We have mixed fraction here and just proper fraction, both mixed fraction. Check the problem. This is 2 and 5/7. Okay, 2 and 5/7 divided by 3/3. This one is 14/3 divided by 1 and 5/6. All right, so that's it for your activity for math. See you tomorrow.